Why is understanding the brain and consciousness tricky? What do we notice when we step back to observe the brain? Why is knowing the brain's quirks important?
Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in to Greenpool's channel. I'm Yuji, a Japanese retiree and the author of Greenpool, Simple Lessons Learned in My Ordinary Life. Today's theme is understanding brain functions. Understanding how our brain and consciousness work can be tricky because they are so closely tied together. It's like trying to step back and analyze something while you are standing too close to see the big picture. If we don't step back, we miss out on noticing how our brain operates. Once we take that step back, though, we start to see interesting patterns. For example, our brain has this habit of latching onto the first bit of info it gets about something new and deciding it must be true. Super efficient, but not always accurate. Plus, you've probably heard about the left and right brain thing. They each have their own jobs, but we don't exactly tell them what to do consciously. They just kind of handle things on their own. Here is another fun fact. Mental memories from our ancestors, like the stuff they've learned, don't get passed down to us. We inherit eye color and height, sure, but their knowledge? Nope. That's on us to figure out. That's why it's so important to be aware of how our brain works and to learn ways to make up for its quirks. When we really get to know our brain, we can use it better. We can tweak how we think, solve problems faster, and sidestep some of those mental blind spots. In the end, understanding our brain helps us make better choices and live a more satisfying life. In line with today's theme, I'll share 3 short related essays from my book, Greenpool. It's widely believed that our cerebral neocortex is naturally programmed to accept initial information obtained through public media as if it were factual. Consequently, we unconsciously tend to reject alternative information that challenges this initial understanding. This response may serve as a rational decision-making function, aiming to simplify the complexity of events, considering the limited capacity of the cerebral neocortex. Therefore, it is beneficial to consciously create an open imaginary space within our neocortex, allowing us to consider alternative perspectives and absorb additional information. By doing so, we can enhance our ability to assess and understand situations more objectively. In an increasingly complex information landscape, maintaining an open mindset is crucial for informed decision-making. As you may know, our brain is divided into two hemispheres, the right brain and the left brain, each contributing a unique function. According to a common theory, one side of the brain can be more active, shaping certain personality traits and thinking styles. For instance, those with a dominant right brain are often viewed as creative and imaginative, while those with a dominant left brain are seen as logical and methodical. If I were to personify these two sides, I would refer to the right brain as the idealist and the left brain as the realist. The idealist embodies intuition, emotion, and imagination, approaching problems with creativity and visualization. The realist, on the other hand, relies on facts, logic, and structured thinking, guiding us through tasks with analytical precision. While the idealist dreams, the realist executes. However, research increasingly suggests that the notion of being left-brained or right-brained is an oversimplification. The brain's two hemispheres are interconnected and constantly work together to support complex thoughts and actions. So, rather than leaning toward one side, I believe a more fulfilling approach is to harness both. A balance where a realist and idealist can collaborate. This balance between analysis and intuition, structure and imagination may offer a pathway to a fuller, more adaptable mind. For example, in making decisions, one might apply the realist's logical sequence to consider facts, then use the idealist's vision to imagine potential outcomes. Achieving this balance can lead not only to better solutions, but also to a richer understanding of our own potential. Biologically, traits can be either heritable or non-heritable, passed from parents to child, or uniquely developed by each individual. Memory in the cerebral cortex, for instance, is a non-heritable trait. We do not inherit specific memories from our parents. Although there is no direct evidence, I believe Charles Darwin's insight from the origin of species sheds light on why. It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent. It is the one most adaptable to change. This suggests that if we inherited rigid memories of past experiences, they might limit our adaptability by constraining our responses to new environments and situations. As the environment and human circumstances have continually changed, the survival-oriented wisdom of the past may not align with today's needs. This is why we must continuously acquire relevant current knowledge to navigate today's changes. If we inherited the vast accumulated knowledge of our ancestors, our neocortex might become overwhelmed, hindering our ability to process new information effectively. Thus, a clean slate approach to memory allows each generation to learn, adapt, and thrive in their own context. I hope today's essays resonated with you and offered new inspiration. That's all for now. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time on the Green Pools channel. Until then, take care. また会いましょう。ありがとうございました。